So, what do you daydream about? Fancy cars, exotic vacations, maybe the dream house with a mortgage so big it makes you dizzy just thinking about it. Maybe some luxury items, a nice watch. And of course, the stereotypical image, a hot wife with the big boobies. But take a breath, step back for just 1 second, and really ask yourself, what do you actually want in this life? Seriously, have you thought about it? Because at the end of the day, what we're told to want and what we truly want often don't really match up, do they? So the other day I had this pretty deep conversation with one of my closest friends. We've known each other for many years, and his biggest dream, it's to own this massive fancy house. And not just any house, but in one of the most expensive cities, in one of the most exclusive neighborhoods. You know the type. The kind of house where the lawn practically glows green all year round, and you can smell the money when you drive down the street. I get it. Sure, it's pretty nice. But the first thing that came to my mind wasn't, wow, that's the dream, but more like, hey man, have you thought about just buying an apartment for maybe 20% of that price? And then, just maybe, you wouldn't need to grind away at a job you hate for the next 30 years. And here's the kicker. He hadn't thought about that. We get so sucked into these expectations. Buy the big house, get the fancy car, work your ass off for decades. And for what? So you can show off to people you don't even like? It's wild to me how we've normalized this endless cycle of working just to accumulate more stuff. So that conversation got me thinking, like really thinking, about the value of freedom and what it actually means to be in control of your time, your life, to live on your own terms 100% of the time. Now that, my friends, is the dream. Not the house, not the mortgage, not the fancy car. The dream is freedom. Owning your own time, being the boss of your own life. So let me throw this at you. Sometimes the very things we think are bringing us happiness, those big ticket items, are the same things chaining us to the corporate meat grinder. You want the house? Cool. But now you've got a mortgage that ties you down for 30 years. That's not freedom, is it? No. That's slavery with a nice roof over your head. I mean, just think about it. How many of us are busting our butts at jobs we despise so we can buy more things we don't actually need? Fancy watches, designer clothes, the latest gadgets, none of it really matters now, does it? It's just stuff. And stuff doesn't bring freedom. Here's a scenario for you to chew on. Most people hate their jobs, right? I think it's something like 85% of people are dissatisfied with their work. It's pretty insane. Now imagine two people with the same income. One of them works hard for the next, say, 10 to 15 years, saves pretty aggressively, invests smartly, and buys some modest apartment or a modest house in a safe, decent neighborhood. They retire early. They're free. They've achieved financial independence. The other person? Well, they work an extra 20 years because they want the big house, the fancy car, the luxury vacations. Now, which of these two is truly happy? Sure, the second person has more stuff, but at what cost? Their freedom for 20 more years. And listen, I'm not saying that trips are bad, travel is great. It's about experiences, right? Not just accumulating things. But even then, how much are you willing to sacrifice for those experiences? That's really the question. And honestly, how often do people who are grinding from 9 to 5 have the time or energy to really enjoy them? Think about it. Does the fleeting joy you get from buying more stuff really outweigh the soul-crushing dissatisfaction of being stuck in a job you hate? Personally, I'd argue there's nothing more valuable than freedom. The freedom to wake up and decide what you want to do with your day. The freedom to say, you know what? I'm done with this job. I'm going to pursue my passions now. That's what I'm chasing. That's the dream. F-U money. And let me break that down for you. F-U money isn't just about being rich. It's about reaching a point where your investments cover your living expenses. It's that magic number when you've saved enough that you can live off of the returns without ever needing to work again unless you choose to. The 4% rule gets tossed around a lot in financial independence circles, but essentially you can withdraw 4% of your total portfolio each year, and there's a 96% chance your money will last 30 years. This is based on something called the Trinity study. And often, it lasts even longer, even growing substantially in value. The goal? 25x your yearly expenses. If you've got that amount invested, you might just be financially independent. That's the dream. That's my dream. Because at that point, you have a choice. You can keep working, build your wealth even more, or you can just quit the rat race entirely and focus on your own passions. Start a YouTube channel, whatever. The point is, the choice is yours. And man, let me tell you, having that choice is everything. So why do so many of us throw that choice away for material things that we don't even need? It's like we're caught in this cycle of spending money we don't have to impress people we don't even like. And seriously, stop and think about that for a second. Isn't that crazy? You work hard, you make money, and then throw it away on stuff that's not even bringing you lasting happiness. But freedom, now that's priceless. And sure, I'm going on a wild rant here, but this is important. Keeping your expenses low means you can hit that FU money goal so much faster. It's simple math. The lower your expenses, the sooner you can say goodbye to that soul-sucking corporate job and hello to the life you actually want to live. But, I mean, people value different things, right? Some people want the big house, the fancy stuff, and that's cool if that's really what makes them happy. But for me, it's about the freedom. And I get it. People want the freedom to choose, and if they want to choose that life, that's great. I want the freedom to do what I want with my own time and with my own energy. And don't even get me started on mortgages. Don't even get me started on kids. Those are the biggest life expenses there are. They tie you down in ways you can't even imagine. It's not just about the money, it's the time, it's the energy, it's the freedom you lose when you've got those additional responsibilities. And again, if somebody wants to get married and have a big mortgage and have some kids, that's totally fine. More power to them. I'm at a point in my life where I just want to be free. I just want to be able to be free from the corporate meat grinder. And look, I get it. Some of you listening, you have artistic careers or jobs you love. That's awesome. But most people don't. Most people are stuck in jobs they either hate or maybe tolerate. And that's just not fine. It shouldn't be normal, but it is. And listen, life is too short for that kind of misery, if you ask me. And yeah, I'm not as frugal as I used to be. I get the value of enjoying the here and now. You never know how much time you've got left, right? But saving and investing for the future is crucial. At least it is for me, and I think it should be for you too. So get that FU money, get it as fast as you can, and then, and only then, can you really dedicate yourself to doing the things that bring you joy. For me, that's the plan. I want to live a low-key life, keep my expenses relatively low, and get to that FU money goal, because once I hit that number, I'm free. Free to decide whether I want to keep working, go full time on a side business, or even expand my lifestyle a bit. But the point is, I get to choose. And you? Don't be like most people. Most people are stuck in jobs they hate, living lives they didn't even choose. Don't let that be you. And to wrap up this rant, let me bring it back to my friend. He gets it too. He hates his job, even maybe more than I do. But he's got this dream of owning more, accumulating more. And as much as he gets the point of financial independence, the point of FU money, he's still caught up in the idea that more is better. But like Socrates said, the secret of happiness is not found in seeking more, but in developing the capacity to enjoy less. And until next time.